So, what have we got? What have we got? Okay, double Zao, double gearing versus Z52 and Shimakaze. Two Montanas, a DM. I'm surprised neither team has taken a Moskva, and HBS have gone very heavy on the radar on this one.
Yes, very heavy radar, whereas OMNI's only fielding a Des Moines for that role, so...
They've got Farazeleth. The guy's worth about 4 radar sets on his own.
Pretty much, yeah.
And as expected, both teams have gone for Hakuryu, and I imagine if I check the AA rating, 71 on Tete and 72 on Farah. So I wonder, has one of them gone 3-2, 3-3-2? Right then. Let the ritual begin. Headbutt.
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 Right. All sorted.
There we go.
So, let's get on to the proper action now, and that starts off with the team pushing up, and HBS are pushing their way out towards point B. They're staying reasonably tight, which is what you expect. This isn't random battles. You're not going to get a bomb burst of players going every which way but. And Kato 190 and Visa Warrior in the 52 and the Shimakaze are leading the push into B. Stunt, what are Omni up to?
Well, it looks like OMNI's splitting their forces. Looks like they've got a small force heading for A, but the bulk of their team is heading for... they might go all the way around to C, or they might stick around to B. Not quite so sure yet. Looks like they're going to just kite A and not actually make a serious push for it, and then just let the main bulk of their team work BC route.
And that's going to be interesting because, of course, conventional logic says that splitting your team like that is a mistake. However, because HBS are doing a single push towards B, I suspect it's actually going to pay off because A is not going to be contested. And, oh, wait a minute, we have a course change. Of course, we also have initial air contact. Farazeleth's early scouting run with his bombers, and I'm betting he's dumped the bombs on those straight off the deck to get the extra speed. Has meant that he's pushed.
Likely, yeah.
Has meant that he's been able to push out onto the flanks, and the fighters from the HBS carrier are actually trying to chase. And if Farah has dumped his bombs, then that's a waste of time because those fighters are actually fast. Sorry, those bombers are actually faster than the fighters once their weapons are gone. And I think Farah is just using them as pure scouts, and I'm betting at this point that Omni have realised exactly what's going on. Because...
yeah, we've got Minotaur, Des Moines, Conqueror, Yamato, Shimakaze, and Hakuryu all spotted. Hakuryu is dipped off, as have the two battleships, but Des Moines is still permanently lit up right now.
Yeah, and right now one of his bomber squadrons
Shima's getting engaged.
Is playing Kiss Chase with Visa Warrior and the Shimakaze. But Tete has got a fighter squadron overhead, and that's stopping the worst of it. Of course, that doesn't really help very much because there's a DM pushing in, either side moving up, getting that cover position in Delta 7, Delta 8, just so he can get a radar onto points B and C. He doesn't have to move too far. He doesn't really have to stick his neck out either.
Yeah, both battleships on HBS side are currently spotted, although Yamato just dipped off now. Carrier is still permanently lit up right now, and that's going to be very risky because I think most of these guys do have shots on him, so taking early damage like that might not be very beneficial.
Yes, and the other thing that's surprising me is that we're not seeing a very aggressive push into either A or C from Omni. We've only just seen the cap start on C. Whereas HBS, well, he's taking an absolute hammering from blind fire and possibly radar as well.
Yeah, Shima's lit up and has lost over half health already.
Exactly, and there's a lot of folks fire coming down. Oh, here come the torpedo bombers.
Moines.
And I think Visa Warrior is about to become the first genuine casualty. Fighters are trying to intercept, but they're going to be too late to stop the drop. Torpedoes in the water. Visa's got the torpedo beats on, but the sheer size of the Shimakaze is going to tell against him. Is it? Oh, okay, he's dodged the first salvo, slams on the brakes, but there's a second torpedo coming in. That one bomber that evaded. Oh, yes. Unfortunately, he's still stuck. He can't turn. He can't really decelerate. He's a one-shot now to the cruisers and the battleships. Just needs one HE round in the wrong place.
He's unspotted. Will any of these incoming shells hit him?
RNGesus may well be in a vengeful
Doesn't
mood
look
today.
like it.
He's getting bracketed, but... Oh, that was close. There's a lot of fire.
He's relit up again.
Yeah, there's a lot of fire coming his way. They really want that little girl dead, but he seems to have gotten away with it.
Oh, big hit from the Montana onto HBS's Des Moines. He's down to 12,000 health already. So
yes.
Big hit.
Ice Doser pushing out. Thought he was angled, but, well...
yeah, don't angle it against 406 mil.
Not in a cruiser, you don't. And, ooh, looks like OMNI
Shots
again
coming in.
Focusing their fire, deciding that if the Shimikaze's too awkward a target, they're going to go for the DM instead. But Ice Doser's, well, he's reversed and he's doing a decent job of evading. But if he's not careful, he's going to ram right into Carnivorous Castiel coming up behind him in the Conqueror. So I think they're trying to swap out. And in all of that, OMNI have managed to grab point A. And, well, Kato is trying to hang on to C, but he's lit up thanks to Farah's aircraft. And, yep, high explosive coming down.
Yeah, meanwhile, the force that went over to A in the form of the Zao, the Montana, and the Gearing, they're already beginning to wrap around and will start putting pressure on them. They're going to be in a bit of a crossfire here if they can't push through C with good speed.
Yeah.
It's just going to be more of a shooting gallery if they just stay there.
And
Kato is now in cover, though.
Yes, and HBS are now in a very, very bad position. They've got to start pushing forwards, but to do that, they've got to break cover. Which means that, as you've noted, they're going to be flanked, they're going to be in a hilarious crossfire, and, well, it's not going to be pretty for them, to put it mildly.
Yeah, HBS's carrier just tried to make a strike on the Des Moines with dive bombs and torpedo bombers. Not a single hit, and all the planes are already gone.
What a surprise. As we noted, if you're trying to use bombers in the early to mid stages of games at this level, you're just throwing your planes away. Wait until the later stages, perhaps, when you've got ships that have been worked over by flak, split up from their teammates, there's less cover available, and you might get somewhere. But Kato has been forced out of point C. He's behind the island, and I think he's defilated. There's a lot of, I think it's 8-inch fire coming overhead. Maybe 6-inch from the other gearing. But it's going
5-inch if it was the Gearing.
5-inch rather, sorry. Just feels
it's definitely
like
the Gearing that's trying to arc it, but not quite succeeding.
And he's popped his smoke, maybe going to try to inch himself back over the border into C, get that cap going again.
Well, RNG Simon's being caught alone. I think he's got defensive fire active, so the strike's not going to work out. There goes a torpedo bomber squadron. Dive bombers are at half health. Yeah, the dive bombers just got strafe there. A good attempt on the strike because the Zao was alone, and of all the cruisers that would be alone that you could hit, Zao's probably the weakest, but yeah, good fighter cover there from Barzelev.
Yeah,
that's a big hit, and there goes the Minotaur already.
Yeah, First Blood got caught out in the open by Elvaf's Montana, and I think XTHD Zao was eyeing him up as well. There were torpedoes in the water.
That A-Force is coming around quick. The only thing that's really holding them back is the threat of the Shima, who was last spotted around that area.
Yeah, and there's the cap, so it's now 1 point all, but OMNI are 220 points up, and also 1 ship up, because, of course, the one dead cruiser on either side is stunned to myself, so that second dead cruiser, Friday 13th, is the first casualty of the match that actually counts for anything. Okay. In other news, one PFP, one of the other teams in this group, has had to withdraw, so adjudicators are working that one out at the moment, but OMNI at this point are in an interesting position because on the one hand, they can sit back. They just have to keep this cordon going for the next 10 minutes or so. And
I think we might even have Carnivorous Castiel is just sitting there broadside, not moving, not even responding, as the Hindenburg's just farming him. I don't know if there's been a disconnect here.
Give me a second. I'm going to swing in, take a look.
He's not moving, not changing his turrets, and he's gone down.
His turrets are not fore and aft. So he didn't actually disconnect. There's something very strange happening there.
Yeah, Hindenburg just farmed him, setting him on fire, getting a double fire, and then just switching to the AP, which just wrecks against that 32mm armor.
Indeed. However, that now leaves HBS in an even worse position because their best fire starter is gone, one of their best AP cruisers has gone, and now Strangers and XTHD are just starting to close down, put the pressure on, but HBS's carrier, Titty, is trying his best. He's got all 3 torpedo bomber squadrons up, and they're just circling around, looking for fresh meat. But I
think they might be going for Kato.
I think they might be going for Kato indeed. Farazelis.
In comes a strike.
Yeah.
Took a big hit from something.
Doesn't really matter about the torpedoes, although
the torpedoes, but he's doomed either way. He's permanently lit up, and here comes the torpedo to finish him off.
Yeah, and even if those hadn't got him, there were the torpedoes coming in from the Zal. There was shell fire. Kato was caught and dead. Meanwhile, that torpedo strike we were talking about from Tete a moment ago, yeah, they're in trouble. Farazelis
big hit on Nice Dosser. He's down to 3.5k.
Farazelis found Tete's torpedo bombers, and that is going to be unfortunate. If he doesn't scatter the bombers right now, there's going to be a very nasty strafe.
And there goes Ice Dosser from the Zal fire.
Yeah, this
might be getting torped here.
Yeah, this is very much a case of...
I think he's safe from the torpedoes.
He's not safe from everything else, though, because at this point I think HBS has just been corralled, and they're just going to get slowly throttled. Just chipped away one at a time by focus fire. I'm slightly surprised that OMNI have not quietly bagged point B just to make sure of it. But then again, they're 500 points up, so...
EvoSci could have made a quick detour just to nab it for 6 seconds, but perhaps they were thinking, no, since they got the early ship kill and they had the advantage, they thought, let's put the pressure on them, encircle them quickly, not worry about the cap for now, and just leave it as a backup plan.
Yes, and speaking of putting the pressure on, I noticed that EvoSci's actually moved up to the next ridge line. So again, he's now in position to radar the entire enemy force if they do somehow break contact. And that's going to be an interest because Visa Warrior is actually trying to come around the corner towards him. So we're getting a little break here from Visa Warrior, who is about to get a very, very nasty surprise. Because EvoSci's not out of gun range yet. He's seen the Shimakaze cranking his turrets round. The question is, Visa Warrior is actually trying to pursue, and he must know this is a suicide run. He's a one-shot to the DM. But EvoSci
here he comes. He's just got spotted now.
Yeah, but he's... well, torpedoes in the water. Launch 1, launch 2. No third launch, but... maybe he's hoping that EvoSci will be too busy trying to evade in order to get a kill out. Secondaries engaged. EvoSci's main turrets did not engage at all. That was interesting.
One hit into the rear. Yeah, that's all it's going to be.
And it's actually XTHD who flanks and kills Visa Warrior from the south, which is fairly impressive shooting. I felt sure EvoSci was just going to wreck him. EvoSci takes another hit from the torpedoes.
And there goes the Des Moines as well.
And he's gone. Mutual wipeout. But Paulus goes down to XTHD's shell fire. Yeah, this is very much...
it's just a mop-up operation.
It's a mopping up at this point. Erebos is down to 20,000. Even Tete's on fire. And marks to Tete, by the way, on his positioning to an extent. He was staying with the fleet rather than hanging back. But at this stage, they've got nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, and not enough guns to make a difference.
Down goes Yamato. Hakuya will be next.
Down. The Hakuryu's next.
Potentially a torpedo.
And I think Comedias...
there it goes.
Yeah. And Comedias really rip.
Yeah.
Fire coming in every which way. It is not pretty. It is not pretty at all. So, first game to OMNI, and we'll have to see if HBS can come up with a game changer next time. They just seem to run out of momentum once their initial charge into B got stalled. And I think XDHD might be trying to finish this off with style. He's going close.
Going for the torps, I think.
Yeah, Comeda's
didn't have AP loaded, so
they're the
he couldn't do any more.
F3s, and he's gone.
Yep, so that's going to be a win for Omni.
Indeed.
First round.
And yeah, XP doesn't count. Interestingly, while we were talking about Farazeleth running air defense, he got 36 air kills. Either side pulled up 35, which just gives you a perspective on that. HBS's air kills were much more evenly spread out. One Ice Dozer ran 9, he was the highest score. In fact, total I think it was 2, 3, 9, 18, 19, 23, 24 air kills total for HBS. Both Farazeleth and either side ran more than that individually. So let's drop back to the port. Okay, yes. So, for those of you who want to watch both sides, there is a multi-Twitch link, and I will stick that into chat just for your convenience while they are getting themselves organised. Next map will be Sea of Fortune, and well, we'll see how this goes. So just copy that link. And drop that into chat for my lot, and also drop it into chat for Stunt's lot. So yes, if you want to see both perspectives for Stunt and myself, that is where to go.
Yeah, and interestingly, I noticed during the middle of that battle, I said it looked like Novus Castiel might have been disconnected because he was just sat broadside, not moving, and it turns out his internet did drop.
Right.
So either Wargaming's changed the way disconnects happen and it doesn't automatically put your turrets back, or I don't know, but he got dropped and that he was just perma-lit up in front of a Hindenburg broadside. The rest is history.
That would explain the beating he took, certainly. So, let's just catch up on the chat for a second. Yes, it's in a training room. Greek Firepower lets us have certain custom scenarios that we wouldn't otherwise do. And 300 seconds. Macanuda, we're using a 300-second delay, so 5 minutes. Stormwind, kind of, maybe, perhaps, but we will see. What I do have to note, however, is that what they might try, and what I've seen work against Omni a few times, is just coming out of the blocks and getting hyper-aggressive with them.
Because don't let them do what they want to do, force them to bend to your play style.
Well, it's more the fact that they're so good at the conventional tactics that playing the usual World of Warships high-tier playbook against Omni, well, they kind of wrote it, so...
Yeah.
You don't play the master at his own game. You do something crazy and hey, maybe it'll work.
Speaking of crazy, we have a change of carrier decision. We still got Farazeleth, but different carrier. Gone midway now.
Okay, maybe he figures that he's got the measure of Tetehu, who did go 3-3-2 in that last game. And he thinks he can run enough air defense with a 2-2-2 midway, and he's got the extra strike power to play with in the torpedoes. Or maybe he just figures that, hey, give it a try, see what happens.
There's also that.
It's the group stages, they're one game up, he can experiment a little. Yeah. So, teams are sorting themselves out. I think we might be seeing some adjustments to the lineup for the other teams as well. I just need to check a few things. Yeah, Carnivorous apologising in the chat there. It seems Farazeleth just wants a battleship kill. Or several, judging by what's being said in my chat. Yes, Farazeleth is in my chat. No, he's not sniping, I hope. And in any event, it's a 5-minute delay, so tactically the information's horribly out of date compared to what he can get in game anyway, for those of you concerned about it. Right, which clans are we streaming? General Cuddles. We are, at the moment, covering Hungarian Black Sails against OMNI, Odem Mortis International, will be looking at various teams over the course of the afternoon and evening. We're skipping between groups just to get as much variety as we can. We're not covering specific clans as such.
Yeah, so we have a schedule of games that we will be working towards, and hopefully they'll be mostly on time, so we don't have to worry too much about adjustments. But if there's a gap, such as a game that just ends in a ruffle stomp, being a 2-0, where we had scheduled it for potentially being a free match, we might drop into a game that we hadn't previously scheduled, but that's going to be up to adjudicators and how timing all works out. We've allowed a gap anyway, if that were to happen, but this is the only game where we could overrun and miss a game in the form of our next scheduled RR1 versus UFR. If HBS managed to pull a win off here, then we will stick with this match and miss the first match of the next fight that we'd scheduled, I believe. Is that our plan?
Let me just check the scheduling, because let's see, we have at the moment HBS vs OMNI. Our next scheduled game would be Nasher Zima versus Unité Francophone, and that's scheduled for 1500, so in 18 minutes. But as noted, yes, we're anticipating, yeah, we're not expecting this to go to a third round, put it that way. Not when we looked at the form book. Which is no offence against HBS. I mean, they are up against basically the defending champions. So, yeah. We're just anticipating the odds. And it looks like HBS are trying to get their team together. They're 2 people short by my count at the moment.
Yeah, Omni's all good to go, all locked in. 2 for HBS need to confirm, and then we should be good to go.
Indeed. Right. Okay, while we are waiting, those of you in my chat, obviously this tournament is being sponsored basically by Wargaming, so the teams have got a grand total of, I think it's 1 million plus doubloons or equivalent in prizes to play for, and we'll look at those later. But we've got some stuff to give away as well, so while this game is sorting itself out and setting itself up, get yourself into my chat, and I'm going to give away, let's say, 2 bundles. We'll start small. Each of these bundles have got 10 of the FTW camos in, and I believe the Restless Fire cosmetic flag as well. And your keyword for this giveaway is !Kitakami. So I'll set that draw going now. And those of you who want to enter, drop that into my chat. And, well, we'll pull that at the end of this match, see who gets the codes. Seems like as good a place as any to start the fun stuff. And while I've been doing that, I think, yep, we are good to go. Loading screen is in play. Let's get this show on the road. So, mirror match on the destroyers this time. The Shimikazes and the 52s have been retired, 2 gearings aside. And, right, interesting. HBS have pulled out a Moskva for this one.
They've also gone double Conqueror this time. They've ditched the Yamato.
Yeah, I think they've figured that the overmatch wasn't a significant advantage. Conqueror on Montana, Hakuryu on Midway, DM on DM and Hindenburg, and they've taken 2 Zhaos as well. Well, it worked for them last time. Let's see where this goes. 5 seconds to game start. And of course, Stunt and I will be headbutting, and we really, really need to fix that mod problem. Okay, crank on him. The usual suicide routine from Stunt and myself. And the game is afoot. So once again, HBS are keeping themselves relatively tight. They're not splitting their forces. and we're seeing immediate air launches. Tete, of course, getting his fighters off the deck first, trying to establish some early air superiority, although I'm not sure if that's just the way Hakuryu runs her launches. Everyone else, well, most people are probing B, but Polovty has done a sharp left. Looks like he might be thinking about a gentle push into C as well. Stump, what are Omni up to?
Looks like Omni are going for a 50-50 split. We've got 4 going left, 4 going right. So last time we had 5 and 3, so there was more emphasis on one side where they want to ideally make a push, and then the other one's just kind of flanking, just keeping them at bay. This time they're going like completely even. They've got a battleship, looks like, going on each side. Got 2 cruisers on each side, and then a destroyer on each side as well. So a perfect split. So
yeah,
if 4 comes across a full group, they're going to be outgunned, but the other group can just wrap around and they'll do their classic encirclement they did last game.
Yes, and that actually surprises me slightly because HBS are fragmenting a little. They put 1 gearing into B, 1 into C, and the heavies are, I think, meandering is almost the best word for it. They're not really up to speed yet. That might just be an acceleration thing. But I'm very surprised that Omni are doing an AC split. As pointed out, if HBS come off their line fast, mass up, they can just break the groups one at a time. Again, we're seeing Farah. I think he's dumped his bombs again just to get the extra speed on that dive bomber used as a scouting and bait group. This time, however, Tete is not going for it. He's pulled his torpedo bombers back, and the fighters are just running perimeter security, but I don't think it's enough to keep Farah's off the teams. He's just spotting, and as a consequence, Ice Dozer has taken some early hits there in the
Yeah,
DM.
a lot of shots coming in. I think both Montanas took a pop, and then a cruiser, I believe, maybe the Des Moines took a pop, or actually I think it was the Zhao, considering the shell speed.
Yeah, and we're seeing a BC push, so HBS getting that early cap into B, Victorious Blade in C, going for the cap there as well. Again, Omni being relatively slow into the cap circles.
Yeah, they're hanging back. They're very cautious. They don't want to rush in. They want to get as good of an idea on what's going to be there before they make a push, and it's a very smart play. They know their carrier is going to have a good chance of spotting everything they need to, so there's no need for them to rush, although Runner seems to have got spotted on his push into that island.
Yes, and in fact, Runner has been spotted, although he's managed to defilade himself, so no one's going to be able to get any shell fire on him while he's in that position, and, well, that's a gearing. The longer Tete keeps his fighters overhead, waiting for shots that are never going to come, the longer he's going to be losing fighters, basically.
Yeah, that Des Moines in the middle is being constantly lit up, and both the Zhao and the Montana on the left-hand side, which is Ivaf, they're both pumping shots into him. I'm not sure how effective they are, but they're putting him under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and it's affecting his shots. He's missing Runner. Ice Dozer has this problem that he can see Runner, but he can't quite get the shells on. So there's that temptation. It's not helping his stealth any, since he's pulling the trigger. Meanwhile, I hate to say this, but Tete has been well and truly suckered. His other fighter squadron, well, one of 3, is off chasing a wave of dive bombs.
Oh, that was a good shot from Ivaf. Nearly half the Mossfer's health in that one salvo. It was a beautiful shot.
Yeah, and Cerebos is probably cursing his luck at the moment.
Oh, even better shots. That's a kill immediately. Des Moines poked out way too far into B and just got annihilated by Kane.
Absolutely, and I think he was watching his left flank a bit too much, trying to get round on Runner, and, as you say, went into B, got caught on the gap in the corridor between A and B, and, as you say, Montana, boom.
This is why Montana is such a good opponent for this. Its accuracy, 12 guns, just makes it perfect anti-cruiser battleship. It's kind of what you need in this meta.
But at the same time, Omni do need to put the pressure on, despite being 1 ship up. They're losing on points. They're 20 down and 2 control points to 1 down. So unlike last time, where they were able to make the kills do the work for them. This time around, it's HBS that can sit back and play conservatively, but Comedias needs to check up on the definition of play conservatively. He's in open water, and the Montana once again just swung a massive broadside into him, and he's lost close to 40% of his health from that one salvo.
Yeah, but we're seeing the same thing happen here again. We're seeing HBS, they're going full on for C, but they're not making headway in there. They're just stalling there, and that's giving plenty of time for OMNI, their Zhao, Des Moines, and Gearing, and ultimately another Montana. They've got free reign of that side of the map. They can move out of there and just do whatever they want. They're not being held back by anything. So, oh, that's another good shot there. Another
Indeed.
cruiser deleted.
And again, it's the Montanas that are doing the heavy work against these cruisers. Let's see, it was Polov T-21 there, went a bit too broadside. I think he was trying to get his stern guns into play, or maybe trying to angle against the Montana over in point A, and it's just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
This Moss was going to have to be careful and angle up pretty quick before the next salvo comes in.
Yeah, he's in the turn, he's seen the danger. I think well, he needs to get about another 20, 30 degrees, but he's
turning back in. If the Montana gets a shot here.
Yeah, he's centered his rudder, he's gone midships, he's gone starboard now. Zhao puts some AP down, but most of it bounces. It's the battleship Moskva. But here comes the hammer. We can see the tracers arcing. Wait, did the Montana just fire on something else?
The Montana did. It's firing... I think it's blind firing into the smoke? No, he's going after the Des Moines.
Okay,
Here they
Comedas,
come.
broadside on, rounds coming down. He was incredibly lucky. Another 5 yards further forward, and that would have been a deletion. On these battleship drivers,
Economist Castiel, I think he's just pressed his new ship button, or it's just finished.
Yeah, but it's not going to help him very much because the Zhao is raining hellfire upon him.
Yeah, Hindenburg's coming in, Zhao's coming in. Decent shot there from the Montana to knock another 10k off. I don't think he's going to last much longer. He needs to get into that smoke and disengage.
Yeah, and that, of course, means he can't fire his main battery at the moment. He's doing his best. He's got on 19,000 health. He's barreling for the smoke. And I think he's going to make it. But the thing is, he's going to turn starboard, probably, to dump some momentum. No, he's turning port, decelerating, dumping momentum, using the smoke, and doing what he can. And he's safely in. But, of course, blind fire is a thing. And there's still rounds whizzing round his head. No fires, though. So he has got a little
good shot from Irvath. That's another good 10k or so on the Moskva.
Indeed. Ereboj, I think he's chasing Gearing at the moment, honestly. Which is
not advised.
Yeah, possibly a waste of the Moskva's main battery. But he's
Not
bow on... Oh, yeah. He was bow on, and it did not help. 3,200 health at this point. High explosive, armor piercing. Who cares?
Yeah. And it's the other Montana that gets the shot there. These Montanas are just... They're wrecking shop here.
Yes, they are. These two guys are not in the business of missing. It's turning into carnage yet again. And, of course, OMNI's cruisers taking advantage of the sheer carnage, just pushing up into B, taking that off HBS. And now, well, HBS are in the same position they were before again.
Yep, they're being encircled.
Downcap getting squeezed up against the edge of the map, and they just haven't got the momentum or the numbers now to make it count. And Carnivorous Castiel is in a very bad place. He's popped his new ship button, but just look at the fire coming in. It's not going to make a difference. They're out DPSing the new ship button.
Yeah.
Which is kind of impressive. This is something you don't normally see in random. Ivath not bothering to go for him, however. He is going for Tested. Okay, I didn't think Carrier Fever was going to be a thing at this tier of play, but doesn't matter. Carnivorous gets blammed, and Farazeleth is looking for blood as well, eyeing up Victorious Blade with his torpedo bombers. And maybe... No, he's bypassing. It looks like he is going
straight for Conqueror.
He's going straight for the Conqueror, and two squadrons of midway torp bombers. Yeah, intercept. He scatters the bombers to avoid a possible strafe.
No strafe though. There's just targeting one squadron, allowing one to go on.
He's going for the disruption. Polus focusing fire on the other. 4 in the water, but two in the water.
There's a exit strafe. Perfectly timed. Still got 2 off though.
Yeah.
And here comes more.
Here come the other 3.
Hit all of them?
Arguably, he switched targets at just the wrong moment. Neither squadron was really panicked when they made their drops.
Yeah. Managed to get 5 hits on the Conqueror and knock half his health off.
Yeah, and
Comedias
is about to get wrecked. He's got the Zal chasing him down. There he goes. And Paulus, unfortunately, I think physics is about to be a very harsh mistress. His engines are out, there's 1 torpedo coming in. The new boat button's going to stop some of it, but bear in mind that he was already flooding, likely from that carrier strike from Farazeleth. Now he's eaten a ship torpedo, he's on fire, he's flooding again from the damage he's taking. He's had it, basically.
Yeah. In all of that, though, they did lose one of their Montana's Omni. Not quite sure what got him in the end. I missed that one. But they did manage to at least get one of the Montanas down, probably from focus fire, but focus fire is just... New ship button or not, you can't escape it.
No, especially not at this turn, especially not with Ivath and T-33 Kane behind the sights, because those guys... That was some of the best shooting I've seen out of battleships in a long time.
Not even enough time to finish off every enemy. It's going to go to points, and that's Omni's win.
Yeah, that's 2-0 Omni, and yeah. Okay, so it's not the end of the tournament for Hungarian Black Sails, of course. This is a round robin. They've got 2 more matches to play, but Omni's starting this tournament as they mean to go on.